This is On Point with Miss Britt, bringing you the conference championships recap. Okay, and then also I want to say happy Black History Month. And this month I'm going to try to post like some athletes that you may not have heard of, as well as like coaches and like people that basically made an impact. So catch that out on my sports page. Now, let's get into it. So first I'm going to start off with the NFC championship game between the Eagles and the 49ers. They definitely had some questionable calls, but I'm not going to take it away from the Eagles when we're going to just get into it. So let's start off with on the Eagles. The Eagles scored on their first possession because of that Devontae Smith catch, which was incomplete because when you saw the playback, the ball hit the ground. But Kyle Shanahan, he didn't challenge it. He didn't throw out the challenge flag. And they ended up getting to the line too fast for them to even realize that it was an incomplete catch. So they got to the line too fast, so they got away with that. And Miles Sanders ended up scoring a 6-yard touchdown. And then the 49ers got the ball, and on their first possession, unfortunately, Brock Purdy got injured. He got sacked, and it was ruled an incomplete pass. And then the Eagles challenged that, and they overturned it to a fumble. And Brock Purdy, he was ruled out of the game, and later on they announced that he had suffered a torn UCL, and it will sideline him for 6 months. So that was a big blow to the 49ers offense, and it just went downhill from there. They ended up putting their fourth string in, Josh Johnson, which he's been in the league for 10 years on 13 different teams. And not to knock him or anything like that, but he does have more interceptions than touchdowns. So Christian McCaffrey, he tried to carry the team on his back. He had a 23-yard touchdown run, and that was it. It was a wrap. They didn't score nothing else. The Eagles, they scored another 2 touchdown runs before the half. Miles Sanders, 13-yard run, and then Boston Scott had a 10-yard run. And then after the half, Jalen Hurts, he scored a 1-yard touchdown in the third quarter. And the Eagles ended up winning the NFC Championship 31-7. And Jalen Hurts, he finished 15 for 25, 121 yards in the touchdown run. So basically it was nothing but touchdown runs during the entire game. There were no touchdown passes. And Nicole Lynn makes history as the first Black woman agent to represent a quarterback in the Super Bowl. And she represents Jalen Hurts, and she is with Clutch Sports, which is ran by Rich Paul. If you know who he is, he's LeBron's boy. So, yeah, that was very unfortunate for them. But the Eagles, they return back to the Super Bowl since winning in 2017, during the 2017 season. And we'll see if they can win 2 rings in 5 years like my New York Giants did when we had Eli. So we'll see if they can get it done. So let's just go ahead and move on. There's really nothing much to say about that game. I mean, it was unfortunate for 49er fans because once the quarterback went down, it was a wrap. And then also Josh Johnson, he ended up getting a concussion in the game. And like they were talking about who was going to be next up, and poor Christian McCaffrey, he was probably going to be, I think he was supposed to be the one that was next up, but they ended up putting Brock Purdy out there, and I'm just like, what was the point of him being out there? But they had no choice. They couldn't do nothing. Okay, y'all, let's get into the AFC championship game, which was between the Chiefs and the Bengals. And I'm not going to lie, this game right here was very triggering for me. And it was one of the worst officiated games that I have seen. And we just going to get into this recap. So, there were mostly field goals in the first half. Harrison Butker, he kicked 2. Chiefs kicker, he kicked a 43-yard and 24-yard. And then Bengals kicker, Evan McPherson, kicked 2 as well. 30-yard and a 23-yard. Travis Kelce was the only person that scored a touchdown in the first half. He had a 14-yard touchdown catch. And then coming into the second half, the Bengals were able to tie the game 13-13. heading into the third quarter with T. Higgins over the top touchdown catch from Burrow for 27 yards. Towards the end of the third, with 4:15 on the clock, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he scored a go-ahead 19-yard touchdown catch. And then P. Ryan, he had a 2-yard touchdown run the start of the fourth to tie the game 20-20. And the fourth quarter to me is where it started to get real messy. Even though it was pretty messy all game, like especially the start of the first quarter, when the Bengals had their first possession, they called them for a false start. And I'm like, where was the false start? And they dang on sure didn't show the replay. So anyways, this right here made me want to turn off the game. I was so livid at this. So just in case anybody missed this, which it's been all over the place. Like, how can you miss this? So during the fourth quarter, the Chiefs had the ball, 3rd and 9. I can't remember where they were at on the field, to be honest. There was 10 seconds on the clock for them to snap the ball, and the ref stopped the play so he could move the ball like an inch forward. Then, they reset the clock back to 10 to count down, and they ended up snapping the ball, and the Bengals stopped them short of a first down. So the Chiefs are walking off the field, getting ready to punt the ball, and the ref comes back and stops them and says, the play was dead, and we got to replay 3rd and 9. Excuse me, what? Because they claim that the sideline judge blew the whistle. There was no whistle. You cannot tell me there was a whistle. I went back and even looked. Wasn't no dang on whistle. That right there made me so livid. I was getting ready to turn off the game because I was so pissed off. And I'm not even a Bengals fan, and I'm not even making no excuses for them, but that was so blatant, it really pissed me off. So anyways, they ended up getting the first down because when they replayed 3rd and 9, they called Eli Apple for a holding, and that ended up resulting in the Chiefs getting a first down. But that possession, they ended up punting the ball. So everybody's trying to disregard that, but I'm not letting that go. Anyways, moving on. So at the end of the game, this is what determined who won the game, and this was very controversial as well. So Mahomes, he scrambled off the pocket and ended up running out of bounds, and Bengals defensive end Joseph Osai had a late hit on Mahomes. Now, I don't think it was intentional. It looked like he was going full speed and trying to stop. He accidentally hit him, but it resulted in a penalty and put the Chiefs in field goal range, and Butker ended up kicking a 45-yard field goal to win the AFC championship for the Chiefs 23-20. And on that same play, if you go back and look, there was definitely holding on the Chiefs. They were holding back the Bengals players just so Mahomes could scramble, and they didn't even call that. But I'm not here to make no excuses for the Bengals because during the game, Joe Burrow, he threw 2 interceptions. So, and then also in their last possession, they should have scored or at least kicked a field goal. And they ended up punting the ball. And you do not want to leave a game up to the defense to make a stop. I'm sorry, you should have just scored. So there needs to be some type of accountability. But one thing we will talk about is Jamar Chase. That Jamar Chase catch between them 2 defenders, Joe Burrow, he threw a deep pass 35 yards, and Jamar caught it at the KC6. That was nice. That was nice. But so like I said, the Chiefs, they are going back to the Super Bowl. So this should be a good matchup between Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. So that, I would say, that's the good thing that came out about it. Even though I still feel like the Bengals got screwed, it don't matter. The Chiefs won, and that's who's going to play in the Super Bowl. You got to let it go, come back next year and be stronger. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm holding both accountable. The Bengals should have scored on their last possession. We wouldn't even be talking about this. So anyways, enough of that. And, we'll see who wins the Super Bowl. At this point, I'm not rooting for anybody. I mean, may the best man win. They're both elite quarterbacks, and, I don't have a problem with either one winning. I'm cool with that. Okay, so other updates. So, Alycia Baumgardner, she fights Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time against Elam Mekhaled. I know I said her name wrong, sorry. For the undisputed junior lightweight title, you can stream it on DAZN, that's DAZN, and I will attach the link for y'all to see it. And then in WNBA free agency, it was announced Candace Parker, she's going to Las Vegas Aces. Brianna Stewart, she has committed to the New York Liberty. And also New York Liberty just added Courtney Vandersloot. So that's huge. Azura Stevens, she's leaving Chicago Sky and going to LA Sparks. And I'm like, dang, that's like most of the team. They done gave up all their big players. But Chicago Sky just added Courtney Williams. So that's a really big pickup for them. And then with NCAA women's basketball, because that's, to be honest, I've been watching more women's basketball than men's, just to be honest. Last night, Caitlin Clark, she dropped with that place for Iowa. She dropped 42 points against Maryland. And then LSU women's basketball escaped an upset by Georgia. In overtime, they won 82-77. And then this Sunday at noon on Fox, you can catch South Carolina's Gamecocks against UConn Huskies. And this is women's basketball. That should be, and that's going to be like a championship rematch because, you know, last year South Carolina defeated UConn in the championship. But also UConn, they are suffering some injuries this season. So we'll see how that goes for them. But make sure you follow On Point Sports 614 on Instagram and YouTube. That's on_point sports 614. And make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm out.